Next stop, the kind of homes we're all going to be living in. But before we get there, let's remember what the future used to look like.
This is the kitchen of tomorrow, a press-button dream coming true for Mrs. Housewife. All sorts of wonders are hers at the push of a button, from refrigerator doors to countertops built for big gals or little gals.
In the gadget-crazy 50s, everything was push-button controlled, which mostly seemed to make life slower and more complicated. Interior designer Lisa Crone thinks it's time for a change.
I think that what designers can do is take what's good about design as it exists now and make it easier, quicker, cleaner, safer, more intuitive in its use.
This is GE's vision of the future. A $10 million home built out of plastic with more gadgets than the Starship Enterprise.
How nice of you to call. Won't you come in?
Like the Enterprise, the house runs by computer with all the wires and cable hidden away below the surface. You can control security, set room temperature, run the VCR, or even run the bath just by touching a screen. And with push-button toilets, even our bathrooms will be more convenient.
My husband would enjoy that.
The kitchen has a sink that turns on when you reach in, and even a recycler that'll turn your plastic bottles into pellets. There are smart surfaces that can be both hot and cold, delicate dryers for delicate clothes, and this device dries your body without a towel.
A blessing in the dark.
The home has electrically controlled blinds, and these are called privacy windows, which will shut out the view at just a flick of a switch. But even GE's future house looks more like a regular home than the Jetsons. Lisa Crone isn't surprised.
You're still going to have people who want French Provincial, and you're still going to have people who want Danish Modern, and you're still going to have people who want, Calico Country, and that's not going to change. For most of us, the way it's going to look for the next 25 years is not that far from the way it looks now.
Okay, fair enough. So in the future, houses are still going to look pretty much like this. But wait a second, what is that?
My designs look the way they do because of the application of natural principles to the technology that we have today.
Eugene Sway is building a house in San Francisco that looks like something out of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And that's no accident.
We're actually looking towards nature as a basis for design to create buildings unlike anything that's ever been seen in the history of humanity.
Well, he's got that right. Eugene believes that many of us will be living in homes like these at some point in the future. And, as he points out,
the future is now, because as we speak, every second that passes is the future.
Although it looks like an amoeba, Eugene's home is earthquake-resistant, fire-resistant, and termite-resistant. Unfortunately, it's not entirely resistant to criticism.
Naturally, anything new, historically speaking, will always receive controversy. Sooner or later, the radical always becomes the classic of tomorrow.
Criticism aside, there's one person who believes Eugene's designs are the shape of things to come. His mother.
Some like square, some like round, some like boxy type of house. But I think it's about time for a change.
One of the biggest changes in the home of the future could be in your own backyard. With the world's first solar-powered robotic goat, just set the button and it'll eat your grass all year long. And robots won't just be gardeners. For most of us, the idea of having a robot taking care of business sounds like a Star Wars pipe dream. But Joe Engelberger, the grandfather of American robotics, says it's not a fantasy at all.
Before the end of this century, there will be robots that will work directly with us in our environments, the home environments.
According to Joe, robots may soon be handling all our household chores, from washing our dishes and fixing our drinks to the more unpleasant tasks.
We all can be more human because we will never have to do subhuman work any longer.
But not all robots are going to be big and clumsy. In fact, some scientists believe the best things come in the smallest packages.
There are a lot of uses for micro robots. In the future, you could have a family of these robots living under your refrigerator. And you turn the lights off and go to sleep, and they'll come out and pick up little food scraps on the kitchen floor. That way you wouldn't have to sweep and wouldn't have to worry about roaches. You could also put little lasers on them, and they could run around and shoot at anything else that's running around in your kitchen late at night. Some of them don't turn as well, some of them like light more than others, some of them don't like food, some of them just plain won't cooperate. If you can imagine, 30 years in the future, you build several thousand of these and dump them on a landfill and program them to put aluminum in one pile, put iron in one pile, put plastic in another pile, and then come back 6 months later. And there they go.
You know, there are a lot of gizmos and gadgets coming in the next few years, but there's going to be one old friend right smack dab in the middle of the future, and you're looking at it right now. No, not me, your TV. Phil Donahue first appeared on TV over 25 years ago, and a lot has changed since then. But that's nothing compared to the changes coming in the next 25 years.
In 25 years, I think we'll probably see the ultimate, and that is the development of a VCR where the 12 o'clock sign doesn't go on and off 24 hours a day.
In tomorrow's world, television will be everywhere. With up to 500 channels competing for your remote control's attention, you could probably spend your entire life staring at the little box in the corner of the room.
Well, if you're a Donahue freak and want to watch the Donahue Show all day, every day, I think that it'll be technically possible for you to do that. I also think that there'll be free healthcare services available to speak to your psychiatric deficits.
What Phil is talking about is called TV on demand. Soon, your remote control will let you watch what you want, when you want, from news stories to reruns of sports events. You won't have to go down to the local video store anymore. You can order up a movie in less time than it takes to make popcorn. But in a world of 500 channels, who's got time to find out what's on? Software designer Kim Irwin has created an electronic TV guide that could soon appear right on your screen.
You have a little film strip here. It allows you to go through and do a visual browse. I can say, oh, here's the Joy Luck Club. I'll catch a preview of this.
My mother started the Joy Luck Club.
Pretty much saw these trailers in the movies, so I'm not going to go through that. But what I would like is some reviews. And here are my reviews, not in my Friday section of the paper, but right here where I actually need the information to make a decision.
And in the future, you won't even have to do the choosing. You tell your TV what you like, and it'll sift through every program on television and have a personalized selection waiting for you when you get home. Till then, my personal choice for you is In the House, Mondays at 8:30 here on NBC. Now we can go back to the future. You won't just be watching your TV. You use your remote control to take you inside a computer-generated shopping mall. You can wander around, check out the local stores, and buy stuff.
Let's go in the sporting goods store, take a look. Let's take a look at the tennis rackets. You want to go for $9.50?
Be better.
You think? Let's buy it.
Yep.
Want?
That was easy.
I think she's going to like that.
You can even go into a supermarket and check out the ingredients of your favorite cereal. And so we've got 500 channels, movies on demand, interactive shopping, but how much TV can all of us really stand?
I do think you're going to be able to tune in daily for chess lessons. I think bird watchers will have their own channel. And I think that's a good thing. But I do think we're going to finally find ourselves on such an electronic overload that we're all going to run out and look at a sequoia tree.
If you're like a lot of people, you don't know the difference between the internet and a basketball net. When we come back, we'll take you for a ride down the information superhighway.
Tropicana Pure Premium Orange Juice has only one ingredient, so no other major brand comes closer to this than this. Now, what are you waiting for? Try it. For all the vitamin-packed goodness that's in oranges, it's really very simple. Tropicana Pure Premium. You just can't pick a better juice.
Larry Thomas Fox, barber at Spring Hill.
You're the head expert in town, aren't you?
Some people might say so.
So you probably know the new Saturns have more headroom.
I believe the new one's going to have a right smart more headroom.
Think that'll have a big effect on your business?
Well, really, I don't see how it could.
Maybe pompadours will make a comeback, huh?
Well, they may. I didn't think flat tops would make a comeback if they did, so who knows, huh?
So you're liking more headroom?
Yeah, I believe it'd be a good thing to have more headroom there.
Who has time for a healthy lunch? With Nestle Sweet Success,
No!
you do. Each low-fat Sweet Success shake has more fiber than 2 apples, the protein of a chicken salad sandwich, and more calcium than a cup of yogurt, plus the taste of the very best chocolate. Nestle, perfect when you can't get away from your desk. For delicious nutrition in no time, nothing succeeds like Nestle Sweet Success.
School time? Ugh. Cool clothes time? Yes! This week, the Max has everything you need. Skirts, jeans, rib knits, caps, backpacks. Incredible prices. TJ's too cool. This week, watches. Hundreds of watches in every store. Famous faces, real cool looks. TJ's got them for $19.99. But hurry, at $19.99, time flies.
Mr. Watson. Mr. Watson. Come here, I want you.
Say, Mr. Bell. Mr. Bell.
When Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone, he could have never predicted what was to come. 900 numbers, answering machines, faxes. But the biggest change of all happens when you plug your telephone into your computer. They call it going online. And it's created a whole new way for people to meet, talk, or even fall in love.
When Sandra and I first met online, there was an immediate connection between us that was unlike anything I'd ever experienced before. And it really went past just the words on the screen. That's what I found so mystical about it even.
My first conversation with Scott was probably 3 hours long, but I wanted it to be longer. I felt like I could have talked to him for forever.
Scott lived in Las Vegas. Sandra lived in Virginia. But even though they were 2,000 miles apart, their computers brought them closer every day, letting their fingers do the talking.
We have these little boxes that we communicate in on the screen, and the boxes are about that big, and they're just filled with text. And I think to myself, how can I be so deeply moved by just a little box of text? It's amazing, but yet I am.
It's not like words on a computer screen. What happens is the person's personality comes through. I get a feeling of fate, a sense of destiny, whenever I talk to him. And I have high hopes.
If you're wondering what happens with Scott and Sandra, don't go anywhere because we've got a big surprise coming later. But first, we'll take a longer look at how computers all over the world can link up and communicate. It's called the Internet.
The Internet's the fastest growing communication medium in history. It's a way that we can move a lot of people in the world into the world of literacy and knowledge. And it's a way that a lot of people in the world can communicate with others.
When you find your way onto the Internet, you can talk with any computer anywhere in the world. Every second, millions of people are having fantastic, detailed discussions about every single thing you can think of. But don't let the concept scare you.
Right now, most people are focusing on the technology. What's interesting is people communicating with each other, not the technology. Very few people know how to build a printing press. Many people can read.
One of the places they're using this technology is at Chiat Day, a New York-based advertising agency that's redefining the notion of what it means to go to work.
Really?
Kara?
Yes?
Can I have a PowerBook, please?
For how long?
At Chiat Day, no one has their own office or desk or permanent phone. Employees make their own schedules depending on the work they need to get done. And everyone is wired via their computers. And by the way, productivity has never been higher.
I get up every single morning, and I work at home from 5:30 till 9:30. I usually come here around 11 o'clock, mostly to see my friends. It's kind of like being in high school again, to do some research, to get some things done, to go to a couple of meetings, and then I'll go back home and work for several hours. I'll go to the gym. I'll do the normal things that people do. And if I'm so inspired, at midnight, I might decide to just do some more work again.
If Chiat Day's deskless, paperless experiment catches on, soon we'll all be living and working with computers. But computers are like any other invention. They can be used for good or ill. This man is using a computer to get money. It's an ordinary transaction millions of us do every day. But imagine if this technology gets into the wrong hands.
I personally have always had attraction to things that I'm not supposed to know about. And hackers, it's underground information you're not supposed to know.
Repo Man's career as a computer criminal or hacker ended when the Secret Service came knocking at his door. But even now, he still wants his identity protected.
Anything that's computer operated, especially remotely computer operated, is vulnerable. I don't think any data is absolutely safe on a computer. I don't think anything is safe absolutely anywhere, for that matter, but it's impossible to protect data or information absolutely.
And the number one target could well be big business. Where information is the most valuable commodity, these are the storehouses for treasure more valuable than gold.
The potential for crashing, say, a corporation's network or system is pretty powerful and very likely and very possible.
In a world where computers are everywhere, in our cars, controlling our traffic, helping us communicate, Repo Man believes all of us should proceed with caution.
We're moving into a new age where people lived in rural communities. They didn't lock their doors. They moved to the big city and they didn't lock their doors. They learned the hard way that you should lock your doors, and that's what's happening. The digital revolution, you should learn to just protect yourself.
Do you remember a world before the microwave and the VCR? Try explaining that world to your 6-year-old and he'll look at you like you're from another planet. But you sit most kids in front of a computer and they can figure it out before most adults can find the power switch, because kids have never known a world without computers. Today, kids are playing games more intricate than we ever imagined possible. In this Disney company video game, kids can fly their own magic carpet to Aladdin's Arabian village. But imagine how much fun learning will be when this kind of adventure makes its way to the classroom.
Teachers and students will be walking through worlds that artists and scientists and designers have built. You can imagine the teacher looking up in the sky and pointing out to a flying dinosaur bird, and all the kids looking up, wearing their interface devices, looking up and seeing the same bird. We might even imagine that the kids themselves will become part of this world. Maybe when the class goes into this prehistoric world, some of the kids want to be dinosaurs. Maybe some of the kids want to be fishes. What happens when you're learning about something and you are what you're learning about? I try and imagine what will be happening in the future, what kids will be able to do when these tools become much more available and when all of the schools in the country are literally wired over the internet. It will be very normal for my child to go into school in the morning and spend the day visiting China and South Africa and Australia and coming home with lots of wonderful stories and probably even pictures that have been sent to her from the children in the other countries. What will they be talking about? What will they be sharing with one another? Will they be sending pictures of their neighborhoods? Will they be sharing music and sounds together?
All right, are we going to do a video now? Video now. We would like to know, how do you interpret this data?
But the future for our kids isn't going to be all work and no play. They're going to have more fun in more ways than you can dream of.
Attention all pilots. Report to battle stations immediately.
Imagine becoming Luke Skywalker in your own Star Wars adventure. In the playground of the future, computer games are going to look and feel more and more like movies. And going to the movies will soon be a whole new ballgame. Interactive movies like this are already here. Audiences vote for what they want to see happen.
Who do you want to talk to?
When the actors offer you a choice, you make the decision, and democracy rules. And after the film, you can grab some cappuccino at a cyber cafe.
In the future, I think you'll find more and more people trying out cyber cafes.
Cyber cafes like this one are opening up all over the country. You can log online, surf the net, play with virtual reality, even morph your own image. And if you can't understand a word, just bring a kid with you.
One of the most interesting things that we're seeing in the cafe are kids who are bringing their parents here, and they're teaching their parents.
So the kids are already figuring it out. When we come back, we'll look at how the techno guys in Silicon Valley are making computers more human. And you'll find out how you can visit the doctor without even leaving home.
Aiming for no cavities? It's possible with proper oral care and Colgate cavity protection. Much like this liquid penetrates chalk, Colgate's fluoride penetrates teeth to help stop cavities.
No cavities with Colgate.
So if your goal is no cavities, use Colgate cavity protection.
Ooh, okay, it's a little, whoa, short. What's wrong with short? He's short. I like short.
When you're working for a special look.
Hey, it's our anniversary. Oh, why not?
Part of getting that look should include Kellogg's Special K.
He's a big boy, he can take it.
Great toasted taste, just 110 calories and fat-free. Kellogg's Special K. Great taste never looks so good.
This is too funny.
Man's creative genius has perfected the world's newest, fastest, and most amazing electronic calculator. Problems that might take 7 years to complete are solved now in 7 minutes.
25 years ago, mainframe computers filled up entire rooms. Today, they're small enough to fit in our briefcase. 25 years from now, they'll be so small that in many cases, you won't even be able to see them. They'll be in our clothes, telling the washing machine what temperature to use. They'll be in your dog's collar so he doesn't get lost. And they'll make everything in your life a little easier.
Computing is not about computers, it's about life. And that's what most people don't understand. A phone, for example, will not be a phone as we know it today. It'll be an English butler. And it will never ring, actually. And it would just sort of say, you know, excuse me, sir, so-and-so's on the phone, and it's rather important.
Answer call. Your consultation is ready, Anne. All connections have been made.
Sydney, do we have full enterprise set up?
Yes, Anne. Lauren Williams, the patient, and a technician are in Orem, Utah, the scanner.
I'll take it in the other room.
Computer-generated assistants like these are just around the corner. They'll screen your calls and make appointments, just like having your own executive secretary.
Sydney? Yes, Ian.
Why did my wife design her computerized intelligent agent to be so young and handsome?
I am sorry, Ian. I'm not permitted to respond to that question.
That's smart, Sydney.
But I do thank you for the compliment.
I believe that it's very important that we give the computers of tomorrow some personality. So far, the computers that we've been building are really very boring.
This is a computer-animated dog called Silas that responds to human gestures. Put them together, and you've got the world's first virtual pet.
I can tell him to sit. Sit. With one hand outstretched. Come on, Silas, you're on national television, you fool.
A camera feeds the image of a man into a computer. And whatever moves he makes, the computer dog can understand.
I can get him to beg by holding both hands up.
In this experimental version, Silas the dog is no Roger Rabbit, but it does mean that in the future, computers can interact with people in even more human ways.
Oh, he's thirsty now.
We are trying to build life-like characters, like this dog, in the computer. And already we are seeing that people that interact with this dog don't really know whether they should really care for this dog or not. And most people do care for this dog.
Sit. Yeah. Good boy. Good boy.
In the future, things that appear to be real won't necessarily be real at all. Take a close look at this footage. Notice anything? This car doesn't exist. It's been created using computers in what some people call virtual reality. When we hear the words virtual reality, many of us think of amusement park rides like these. You control a computer using a joystick, and the images respond just as if they were the real thing. But imagine if you could take the same technology and use it to save lives.
Technology is profoundly impacting medical science today. It's no longer blood and guts, but it's bits and bytes.
What you're seeing is a human body in a block of ice. Scientists are cutting the body into thousands of slices. Each slice is photographed and scanned into a computer, compiling the first ever electronic images of the human anatomy. Once in the computer, each body part can be viewed and manipulated in virtual reality. Doctors and students can work on these computer images just as if they were the real thing. Using this technique, doctors can practice an operation thousands of times before they go to work on an actual patient. But this technology isn't just going to be used to practice. When surgeons connect their tools to a computer, their movements can be mimicked exactly by robots at another location. A doctor views the patient through a video screen, so when he performs a suture in Seattle, you get stitched up in New York.
This is medicine's wake-up call to the information age. More and more of the technologies that are being explored today will be able to take advantage of the information highway.
Hey, Dixie. Male pedestrian 15 to 16, hit by a car. Pupils look okay. I heard some crepitus around the left clavicle. Slight local swelling.
Okay, I'll set up a scan on arrival. I need his EMR. Daniel, phone number, please. 1895.
Digital technology will give doctors the ability to get to their patients immediately, no matter where they are. Emergency care, for one, will be dramatically improved.
You should be singing now.
Great. A little to the left, please.
All right.
Sorry, other left.
Right.
Thank you.
Even when there isn't an emergency, doctors will be able to make electronic house calls, looking in on patients by video phone, monitoring their blood pressure online, and even consulting with other doctors for a second opinion.
Doctor, could we get the mitral valve just a little clearer? Perfect. Perfect. Just hold it there for a moment, please.
In fact, experts predict that by the end of the decade, most phones in the country will have a screen attached, so you'll always be able to look in on a loved one, no matter how far away you are.
But healthcare in the future isn't all going to rely on high-tech computers and video phones. Some scientists are turning back to nature, trying to find answers to some of medicine's most difficult questions in places you never dream of.
Surveys have actually been done in which people are asked if, in fact, it could save your life, would you accept an organ from another animal in order to survive? Most people say yes, that they would.
Dr. Lou Mattis is developing technology to transplant animal parts into human beings. But you might be surprised to find out which animal is the most compatible.
The species, interestingly enough, that is considered to be the best potential donor for human transplantation is the pig. Now, many people, when they hear about the possibility of actually transplanting organs between humans and pigs, react with some disbelief. Pig organs are very much like human organs in many ways. The pig heart is very similar in overall size to the human heart and functions quite similarly. The same can be said for the kidney, the liver, and the lung of the pig. And I think that we will actually see within the next 15 to 20 years the use of organs from pigs in patients around the world, altering the face of transplantation as we know it.
I guess there's still some things you can't get from a computer. Anyway, when we come back, we'll go camping on the moon and show you a new way to read your favorite magazines.
Breakthroughs, Amazing Things to Come, is sponsored in part by McDonald's. Have you had your break today?
Summer, when your kids are constantly in motion, just like the power-charged Hot Wheels racers or on-the-go Barbie miniatures at McDonald's. Your kids choose one with every $1.99 hamburger Happy Meal you buy. So they can ride, they can race, they can get ready for action. 8 of each to collect, just $1.99. So put on the brakes and take a break at McDonald's, where the Hot Wheels move, Barbie moves, and the Happy Meals are going fast too.
Have you had your break today? Now wait a minute.
New Shout gets out tough stains better the first time.
You know it makes me wanna shout.
Chocolate!
Shout.
Caramel!
Shout.
Grapefruit!
Shout. Come on now.
Shout has a new first-time formula, so it's better than spray and wash at getting out most tough stains in one wash.
Shout it out.
Want a tough stain out the first time? Shout it out with new Shout. S.C. Johnson Wax.
Some credit card companies promise you'll get a lot of mileage out of their cards. But at Discover Card, we offer something you can really use. The Cashback Bonus Award. In fact, we've given our card members over $500 million already. And the more you use your card, the more you get back. So the next time you travel, put more than just miles under your belt. It pays to Discover, the card that pays you back. Use it where you see the notice sign.
Some clothes you just don't want to put in the dryer, so you hang them up to dry. And that's the toughest test of any fabric softener, even Downy. So if you think any mid-priced brand can give you the softness of Downy, put your choice on the line. Look, those brands can leave clothes feeling stiffer after they've been line-dried, but Downy gives your clothes a softer, fluffy feel. Come on into the most fluffy softness. Come on into Downy.
Breakthroughs, Amazing Things to Come. We'll be right back.
Saturdays this fall, Justice has a new name.
Judge Solomon, he refuses to use the pot. Here come the judge.
Pamela Reed.
I've got an idea. Work with my boys.
Judge and Mom.
We're gonna play a little game.
Here come the judge. Here come the judge.
Okay, honey. Spank 'em.
The Home Cook, NBC Saturdays this fall.
It's a party at Friendly's Restaurants.
What's the occasion?
This year it's Friendly's 60th anniversary, and many great things could turn up.
Sounds fun. Wish I could have some fun. Simply request any deli fresh friendwich, Charlie Brown.
And get a Tropical Topper Sundae free. Then enter the Camp Snoopy Sweeps to win a family vacation for 4 to Knott's Berry Farm in California, the friendliest place in the West.
And the funnest, no doubt.
So come on in to Friendly's, where it's always a party.
I was walking around campus and everyone kept calling me Eddie. I said, my name's not Eddie. I kept telling them my name is Bob, and then I met myself. Ta-da! Like that.
It was like looking in a mirror. All of a sudden, I had this twin brother I never knew about. I was going to the same school. The media picked up on our story. Before we knew it, we got a call from David.
We were triplets, separated at birth. And now we all have something we never thought we'd have. Brothers to argue with.
Not that we ever argued.
No, it wasn't going to argue with.
Family. One channel celebrates its extraordinary power.
For the best in Erie County fair fun, it takes two. Join Channel 2 and Kids Escaping Drugs for the biggest craze of the year, Pogs. Come visit Channel 2's Pog Place at the fair for trading and slamming fun. Plus, spin for a chance to win $10,000. And what does Buffalo Bill's POG mean? Find out at Channel 2's Pog Place near Gate 2. That's not all. You can become an instant anchor with Channel 2 News. Try your hand behind our news desk. It's all to help kids escaping drugs. For Erie County fair fun, it takes two.
The left bank of Paris is really rocked by a far-out machine that looks a little like contemporary sculpture, but somehow turns out sketches, still lifes, and portraits. Just look at that deft line, that sensitive composition.
The art world has always been influenced by technology. And according to Peter Max, who led the pop art revolution in the 60s, computers could soon open the door to an explosion of new artists and new ideas.
When I paint, I go into my paintings fearlessly. And that's the same way that I've gotten into the computer world, that I've gotten into the cyber stuff. There's stuff yet to be discovered in the cyber realm that is going to be hard to be believed. There are going to be new colors discovered. You know, these things that are verging on metal. They're between like real and surreal. And you don't know what color it really is. It looks like kind of polished aluminum that has a spectrum running through it. Creativity is going to be probably one of the greatest things happening in the next few decades among mankind.
To hang any one of these Peter Max originals on your wall will cost you thousands of dollars. But in the future, you can enjoy the world's greatest art in your home at a fraction of the cost.
All the art that's ever been created by all the most creative people on the planet will be accessible to someone looking into something just like that. There'll be a kid somewhere putting it on or on an eyepiece or looking at a monitor.
Even traditional art galleries will be able to change their collections at the touch of a button.
Now what happens in 50 years from now when this will be old-fashioned? Where are we going to go with it? It's really hard to imagine.
Another artist fascinated by the new technology is music superstar Peter Gabriel.
Hi there.
CD-ROMs look like regular CDs, but they play on your computer. And on Peter Gabriel's latest CD-ROM, you can play the instruments he uses.
There are many weird and wonderful instruments from all over the world. Why not try playing a few of these yourself?
You can even remix the music.
Hello, my name's Richard Evans. This is the production room. I'm having some trouble with a mix of digging in the dirt. Come on in and give me a hand.
So in the future, there'll be new ways of enjoying art and music. But what about the magazines we read? We went to San Francisco to talk to the people at a magazine called Wired.
Wired magazine burst onto the scene 3 years ago, blending pop culture and cyber talk. And from the very start, it was clear that Wired was something new.
The first time you see it, you think, what is this? How do I read it? What's with the type and what's with the colors? And I don't get it. I think there's an incredible amount of energy that's leaping out of the pages. It's an optimistic view of the future. We're very future-friendly here.
In fact, Wired magazine is already reinventing itself. From their offices in this San Francisco warehouse, they've recently introduced a magazine that you can only get through your computer. It's called Hotwired.
You know, we say that Wired magazine is about the digital revolution, and Hotwired is the digital revolution.
With Hotwired, you become part of the magazine. You can contribute your own stories, send in your own music and art, or just browse through thousands of images and ideas. Best of all, it's free, paid for by the same people paying for the program you're watching right now, advertisers.
One of the things that the advertising community has woken up to and is very conscious of at this point is that advertising dollars are going to pay the information superhighway.
So what does all this mean for the magazines you read every week? Well, don't worry, they'll still be around, but more and more of them will be available online.
We're all sort of in this tumultuous sea of change, you know, riding these waves and figuring out where it's all going, and it's incredibly exciting.
But what do you do when the world starts seeming just a little bit too wired? Well, when you're tired of cyberspace, there's always outer space.
I must report to the moon.
"25 years ago, Neil Armstrong and I had the fortunate opportunity to be standing on the moon.
It's like much of the high desert of the United States. It's different, but it's very pretty out here.
It's been over 25 years since Apollo 11, but the moon seems almost as far away as it did back then. But NASA scientists are definitely seeing space in our future.
I think space represents a future which is different than the past. And I believe we all want
to believe that tomorrow will be better and different than today. And space really represents that universally.
If you're ever lucky enough to spend time in space, you'll probably do it in the space station. And you might not even have to be an astronaut. Some believe you'll soon be able to call up your travel agent, and for $100,000 or so, you can have the ultimate room with a view.
You know, I really do think that tourism is one of the things that's going to open up the frontier of space travel.
And before too long, your vacation plans might even include a trip to the moon.
They'll be having people come up there for a couple of days rest and relaxation, touring the lunar highlands. There are always going to be people that are going to want to go to a different place. And so the moon certainly will be one of those places I think people will set up shop.
Setting up shop on the moon might well involve mining its resources, especially helium-3. Helium-3 is used in nuclear fusion. And if you think it all sounds too expensive, remember this. One space shuttle load of helium-3 could provide enough energy to power the United States for an entire year. And after the moon, it's on to Mars.
I think that we will go to Mars. I think it will be probably within our lifetime. Mars is, of all the planets, the most Earth-like. And it's a little bit smaller than the Earth. It has an atmosphere much thinner than the Earth's. But on a nice, balmy, summer Martian day on the equator, it might get to be 55 degrees Fahrenheit.
A trip to Mars might sound like science fiction, but the United States will be landing intelligent robots on Mars in just 2 years. They're called rovers.
These little rovers, at least initially, will be a 6-wheel vehicle, which will be perhaps 2 feet in length and less than 1 foot high, and will operate on a mere 8 watts.
Operating both on the Mars surface and below the ice cap, these rovers will be controlled by computers back on Earth, but it won't be easy.
It takes as much as 20 minutes or more for a signal, say, to go to a rover which is rolling around on Mars. And if you're trying to joystick that particular thing, and you suddenly see an image of a cliff 15 minutes away, it's too late. That thing's going over the edge.
Rover, this is Houston. Yeah, Rover, just hold up what you're doing there, old fella. Come on back to us, Rover. Yeah, Rover, come on. Now, stay there. Rover.
Looks like they need to take Rover to obedience class. Coming up, a big surprise in cyberspace.
May I take your order, sir?
Indeed, you may. This morning, I succumbed to the pleasures of McDonald's Bacon, Egg, and Cheese Biscuit Extra Value Meal. Ah, yes, a bounty of tender bacon, a gently fluffed and folded egg. The reassurance of golden melted cheese with crispy hash browns and a small fresh brewed coffee. Well done, lads. A Bacon, Egg, and Cheese Biscuit Extra Value Meal for a nifty, thrifty $1.99. Thanks. New uniforms?
Have you had your break today?
You know why Soft Scrub cleans soap scum better than this other cleanser? Here's one reason. You'd have to buy 6 bottles of this stuff to get the same amount of cleaning detergents in one Soft Scrub. 6. So buy Soft Scrub cleanser or buy a 6-pack.
I can eat corn on the cob, and I can eat the apples as long as I've got super polygrip on these dentures. I know that it works. I mean, it holds my teeth in place. Using the super polygrip, I can continue auctioneering. Bid 35 now, bid 40 now, 5, 45 now, bid.
Look around. Can you guess who showered with soap this morning? And who showered with Zest? You see, soap leaves a drying film that's not easy to see, but you sure can feel. But Zest rinses clean away, so all you feel is clean. So why feel this dry when you can feel this smooth? With cleaner, smoother feeling skin, compliments of Zest.
You're not fully clean
and smooth.
unless you're zestfully clean.
Don't move! You better freeze up there!
They put their lives on the line every day.
He's going through the back! He's going through the back! Move to the front!
Bounty Hunters on an all-new Dateline NBC next.
If the last hour is any indication, the future could turn out to be a pretty cool place. We've only scratched the surface, but there's no telling what people like you will come up with next. But before we go, remember that couple who met over their computer and began an online relationship? Well, guess what? They got married, except neither the bride, nor the groom, nor the minister were together. They got married online, through their computers, creating the world's first cyber wedding. I'm LL Cool J. See you in the future.
My destiny is before me.
Okay, let's have a cyber wedding.
Scott, do you take Sandra to be your wife? Say yes.
I do. Most definitely.
He said I do.
Sandra, do you take Scott to be your husband?
What'd she say? So far, we had no response.
Ladies and gentlemen of cyberspace, Mr. and Mrs. Wade Grusky.
Jane Pauley and Stone Phillips anchor Dateline NBC next.
Breakthroughs, Amazing Things to Come is sponsored in part by McDonald's. Have you had your break today?
CBS Sports coverage is sponsored by McDonald's. It's a good time for the great taste of McDonald's.
It's Wednesday, August 16th, 1995, and this is Dateline NBC. Tonight,